Two people in the rest of you say it's mazid?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can say it is, but the reality is that it's not. The reality is that it's thulathi, and being thulathi and being mujarrad is determined by looking at the purest form of the fi'l. And this is what we're talking about. Purest form of a fi'l. And thulathi or in rubai is past, not present or future, past, madi, masculine, third person singular. You look there, and anything within that form that is derived from it is still thulathi mujarrad. Okay? If this is thulathi mujarrad, then anything that is derived from it will also be called and considered thulathi mujarrad, such as ya'lamu, such as i'lam, which is command, such as alimun, which is ism fa'il, ma'lumun, which is ism maf'ul.
But how can it be here? The ya is extra, right?
The ya is extra, but the ya is not extra to the pure form. Okay? The ya is still extra, yes. Granted, that's the case. But this ya has not been added to the pure form. This is the purest form. That's what determines if it's mujarrad or mazid.
But in case of if'al and istif'al,
Yeah, those are all mazid, because if you go to the past, third person masculine singular, you get extra letters. Like ifta'ala, you know, ifta'ala, or istaf'ala, and so on. They have extra letters, even in the purest form. Okay?
So ta'allama would be
Ta'allama is mazid because it has ta there, and the lam is double. So that's mazid. So that's how we determine if something is mujarrad or mazid. You go to the original root, the pure form, which is over here.
So, how do you know if, so why is the ya not considered additional in the ta and lam?
Well, the ya is still considered an additional letter. It is still part of this. It's still part of this form of alima. We haven't changed the meaning. It's still the same meaning of alima, only a different tense, right? Alima is he knows or he'll know. So it's still, even though the ya is here not to change the meaning, but just to change the tense and change maybe the person and so on. As opposed to if you say, I'll give you another example, ta'allama. So in this case, what we have is we have taken something from alima, but we have changed the meaning by adding the ta in the purest form. You can still circle this, because this is the past third person masculine singular. It's in its purest form, but does it have the same exact meaning as this? No. Of course, since this is the root, it has some of the meaning of this, but then we have added an additional dimension, if you will, to it. Because ta'allama means he learned. Ta'allama means he knew, but ta'allama means he learned. It's taken from the same root letters, but here, see the differences between these two, ta'allama and ya'lamu. Compare these two. Ya'lamu is considered thulathi mujarrad because it still has the same exact meaning as this, only the tense is different. Right here it says about the past, madi, this is mudari. He knows or he'll know. But over here, this is a thulathi mazid because in this purest form, which is past third person singular, it doesn't only have the root letters, it has more letters.
But question, so it's mujarrad, does it have to have the only past form, right? Past third person singular male form?
If you want to know if something is thulathi mujarrad, you go to the past third person singular.
Right, but
Over there.
But ya'lamu is not the past form, it's the present future form, right?
Exactly.
And why is it still mujarrad?
It's still mujarrad because anytime you see something other than past third person masculine singular, you go back to it. Past third person masculine singular. There you determine this. You determine ya'lamu and you determine, say, alimun. You determine ma'lumun. All of these have extra letters in them, right? Alimun has the alif, ma'lumun has this meme and this waw. And if you say ma'lumun, i'lam has the alif here, the hamza. So all of these have extra letters, but they are not considered thulathi mazid because to determine whether they are thulathi mazid or thulathi mujarrad, you have to go to their root form, the pure form. What's the pure form of all of these? All of these four? What's their pure form? The one in the circle. Past third person masculine singular. That is where you can determine if fi'l is mujarrad or mazid. So ya'lamu, even though it has the extra letter, it's still mujarrad. Alimun has the extra letter, it's still mujarrad. Ma'lumun, mim, waw are extra letters, it's still mujarrad. And so is i'lam, even though the hamza is the extra letter. Because when you go back and refer to its pure form, you find that it only has 3 letters.
But ta'allama, isn't the pure form of that back to that? The pure form of ta'allama?
No, ta'allama is the purest form of its own kind. Because it has now a different meaning. All of these have the same meaning. Alima means he knew, ya'lam he will know or he knows. Alimun, the person who knows. Ma'lumun, the thing that's known. Ya'lam, no. All of these have the meaning of no. Now, by adding the ta here, making it thulathi mazid, we have changed the meaning completely. Ta'allama now means to learn. So anything that's derived from that, yata'allamu, muta'allimun, and so on, ta'allam, all of those have the same meaning. So if you find some derivative of ta'allama, you come back to ta'allama and you check ta'allama. Does it have any extra letters? And you find that it does. And since it does, you say and you conclude that this is thulathi mazid.
What's the root of that? Ayn lam mim, but with the shadda, so that's 3 or 4?
This one? What ta'allama is the pure form. So ta is the extra letter and the second lam. Because you know here we have double lam, right? Shadda means 2 of the same letter.
So the 3, the root is ayn lam mim?
The root is ayn lam mim, the real root, yeah.
Okay.
But now in this kind, this is the purest form. The purest form is always past third person masculine singular. Is that clear to everyone?
So wouldn't that then be considered 4 letters?
Ta'allama? 5. Because ta, ayn, 2 lams and
So
mim.
not the thulathi?
It's not thulathi mujarrad. It is thulathi mazid. Meaning, it is thulathi because the root, the original, is still 3 letters. Ayn, lam, mim. We have added things to it to change the meaning. Ta'allama means to learn. So it's thulathi mazid now. It's still thulathi, even though it has 5 letters. Why is it thulathi? Because we have only 3 letters